Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about eating trances and your weight loss. Eating trances are what I refer to really as most of our eating behavior, and it's specifically the eating behavior we do that's really mostly outside of our awareness, right? Now you have to understand when we're in trances, it's not a complete hypnotic trance where you're completely unaware of what's going on. It's a spectrum, right? Of being completely and totally present, aware in the moment of what's happening and being on complete and total autopilot, right? And then there's a lot of room in between. And once you recognize that, you start to realize that a lot of your eating is happening on autopilot outside of your awareness. If you look at the breakfast you typically eat, where you go, what you eat, how much you eat, when you eat it, how you eat it, all of this stuff is very consistent. And that goes and extends to snacks you have, lunches you have, dinners you have, after dinner snacking you may do. And what you'll start to notice if you look at your eating patterns is that there are specific ones for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then there are specific ones for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the weekend, right? So we have different patterns, right? There's holiday eating, vacation eating. But what I'm ultimately trying to say here is that most of your eating is happening more towards the trance side than the aware conscious side. And so it's estimated that we make over 200 food decisions a day. And so most of those are happening in the background without your awareness. You already have an idea of what you're going to eat, where you're going to eat it, when, how, all the rest of it. So a huge part of actually not only losing weight, but setting yourself up to keep it off is being able to become aware of the eating trances that you have, the eating trance patterns that are in your life. And again, you'll notice, and they're showing up all over the place because as an alternative to the eating trances, how often are you in the moment saying, okay, what am I going to eat? And then logically figuring out exactly what you're going to do from all the available options. You're not doing that. If you're, driving by a certain road, you remember a certain restaurant you've gone to in the past. If, you're at home, you remember the food you bought and have in the house. And so what ends up happening is a lot of our eating behavior becomes very trance-like from what we even consider to what we buy and have in our house ready to go, to the places we even consider that we're going to eat at, to what we finally ultimately end up doing. And even what we end up doing at the places is really trance behavior because most of the time when you order the food you order, it's the same order, right? Now, you might have a couple different varieties of it, but very rarely are you eating something brand new in a brand new way each and every day, right? So we tend to revert to automating that and doing and eating what we've done and eaten in the past. And so a lot of our behaviors in this trance-like pattern, which makes it feel very easy, right? This is why weight loss is hard. It's a lot more, weight loss is hard a lot more because of this automated behavior pattern that your mind follows more than it is that the fattening food is tasty and, the healthy food's boring, right? A lot more of it comes down to our brain is built to pretty much live on autopilot. We're designed to be on autopilot. And again, we're kind of aware of what's going on to some degree, but most of the decisions about what we're going to eat, how, when, where are being handled in the background. And we just do what we've trained or been programmed to do. And so that shows up in our lives as a lot of our eating is just happening, right? And we're not really fully present in the decision. We're just kind of doing it. And that makes your weight kind of being run on autopilot. And so it is almost impossible to all of a sudden become a person who is consciously making all your food choices. Your brain's not built for that. And this is what you try and do every time you diet. Every time you diet, you try and say, okay, now I'm going to micromanage every food choice I make. I'm going to think about every single thing and get myself to do the right thing. It sounds great on paper, but in the real world, it's very tiring. You very quickly burn through your energy. And what you end up doing ultimately, right? You do the diet for a little while, and even if you're losing weight, what ends up happening, you go back to your normal behaviors. You go back to your previous eating trances. And the core reason why is because you never made your weight loss, your thin and healthy eating trances trance-like. You never made them automatic. Every time you're going to eat well, you're fighting against your automated behaviors and trying to force yourself to do something new. And so it's always a struggle. So the real answer to not only losing weight, but keeping it off for the rest of your life is to transform your eating trances, to install eating trances that are healthier, eating trances that bring you to your goal weight and keep you there, eating trances that run pretty much on autopilot. That is the secret. You are never going to live a life where your sole focus is on what food you're going to eat. It's never going to work that way. You're always going to have other things that take precedence. Work, relationships, getting sick, it doesn't matter. Things are going to happen in your life that are going to take up your attention, and all of a sudden you're not going to be able to fixate on your food and what you're eating. And those are the times when you fall off track. So if you ever want to have a real chance of being able to get to your goal weight, you need to start building around your eating trances. And it starts by paying attention to the eating trances you have, and it's working on reducing, replacing, removing the unhealthiest ones and the ones that are causing the most weight, and then adding in and building on the ones that are the healthiest. And always with an eye on, I want my eating to be automated in a new way, but always about automating it. That's the secret, because that's truly, at the end of the day, what's been driving your eating, and that is going to continue driving your eating, is your subconscious programming that you're basically running on autopilot. That is what's dictating your eating, and that's what's dictating your weight. So the way to take control of it is to start focusing on your eating trances that you have now, and then strategically and systematically transforming them into the eating trances that are going to bring you to your goal weight and keep you there. So I hope this helps you out. And if you want some help with this, go click the link in my bio, go get the free hypnosis session I give you, watch the video I made for you, read the emails I send you, take the goal weight quiz I made for you. All of those things are free. Okay. So I'm here to help you out. But again, we need to do this differently. So I hope that helps you out. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Whatever questions about weight loss you have are welcome. PJ says, yep, true. It is true. Again, it's a different way of looking at it. I think dieting is so flawed. The dieting philosophy is just so ineffective and wrong. It makes me insane. I mean, obviously, this is what I do all day, so I'm biased. What's going on here? Oh, that's fine. But when you start to think about it this way, I think it starts to make a lot more sense, because the idea of trying to change all your eating at once, consciously, logically, I know it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense logically, but in the real world, it just doesn't show up that way when you try and make these decisions. And that's what you've experienced. Again, the first couple of days, you're super fired up and motivated, and you do anything. But eventually that focus and that attention wanes because other things in your life happen, right? And so once you start looking at it this way, I think, I'm not saying it fixes everything right away, but at the very least, you can start to explain what's going on. Because most dieters really can't explain what the hell's going on, short of, I don't know, I got no willpower. I'm a sweetaholic. I can't control myself. Weight loss is weird like that. Like dieting is weird like that because it's such an ineffective model of what you want, right? Dieting it is we live in a weird world. I will tell you, it's a weird reality we live in. But the idea that dieting is the number one model people follow to lose weight, and yet it works never, right? It's estimated, dieting's estimated. The stat I always reference back to is that they estimate 95 to 98% of people that lose weight on a diet put it back on ultimately. So that's a 2 to 5% success rate, right? And they say, well, those numbers are bullshit. Add 10% to it. I mean, come on. Who do you know? Who do you know in your life who's followed a diet and lost weight and then stuck with that diet and kept the weight off for 10 years, 15, 20 years? Where do you see it? Right? I don't see it. So I buy those numbers, even if they're not exact. And again, they just point to a big problem that dieting doesn't work. And it's not, again, I want to be crystal clear about this. You can diet your weight down for a little while. Anyone can force themselves to do things for a little while. I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is that dieting as a long-term model to follow to manage your weight is ridiculous because there's no compelling evidence that dieting works long-term. You say, well, Jim, I don't care about long-term. I just want to lose the weight. Well, this is your core mindset problem. Your core mindset problem as a dieter is that you're just thinking about losing weight. You think, all I care, I just want to lose the weight. 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 I just want to lose. No, you don't just want to lose the weight. Do you know that? What they say what you mean and mean what you say, right? You don't just want to lose the weight. You want to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. You want to get to your goal weight and then stay there for the rest of your life. And it'd be great if we could do it on near autopilot. Isn't that the real goal? You cannot still have a goal of, I just want to lose weight, because I know you've lost weight. You've lost weight before. And what happened? You put it back on. So again, is the fun part just losing weight and then putting it back on? No, right? The fun part is staying at your goal weight. And so you've got to shift your focus. You've got to shift that focus. That's the door you have to walk through. You're in diet jail, right? Imagine in your mind mentally, you're in a mental prison, and it's the diet prison. You think like a dieter. But the beauty is you can step right outside of that prison. They forgot to lock the door. You can open it up and step right outside of it by, all you need to do, shift your focus. That's it. That's all you need to do to escape from diet prison. Shift your focus from getting to your goal weight to living at your goal weight for the rest of your life on your autopilot. You make that one little shift, everything changes instantly. Because as soon as you start focusing on the long term, you instantly will choose a different way to make it happen. You will instantly stop with the diet bullshit. What's the diet bullshit? The diet bullshit is not any specific. So here, I'll speak to this because I always hear, oh my God, Jim, I don't know. This is confusing. And then this week I'm supposed to do this. And this week I'm supposed to do that. And this week I'm supposed to do this. I get it. And it's built that way on purpose. It's built there to confuse you and keep you stuck. Okay. But what we want to do is I want to give you the ability to look at every single diet as a diet. It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit if it's carnivore, keto, low carb, vegan, low fat. I don't care. Any weight loss plan has one thing in common that's keeping you trapped. And what it's got in common that's keeping you trapped is it's all about losing weight quickly so that you can get to your goal weight. That's what they're all about. So I don't give a shit. I'm not going to sit here and argue how stupid keto is, even though it is really stupid. But I'm not just going to say that because I think Mediterranean diet falls into that. Well, huh? And I believe in the Mediterranean diet. Okay. I believe in a little bit of keto, a little bit of it. I think there's some truth there. I think the whole thing's goofy, but anyways, I digress. So I don't give a shit what the philosophy is. What they all have in common is their extreme changes to your behavior that you're doing to get to your goal weight as fast as you possibly can. And you think that's the goal. Your goal is, how can I get to my goal weight as fast as possible? That is your question. That is your goal. That's your North Star that you're aiming everything at. And when you ask the question, how can I lose weight as fast as possible? Your brain starts coming up with the most extreme plans possible, because it's a direct relationship that the fastest way to lose weight requires the most extreme method. And we can go to the most extreme thing we can think of, which is just stop eating. Let's just say dry fasting. What's more extreme than that? Just stop, shut it down, right? No food, no water, nothing's going in here. That's going to be basically the fastest weight loss you can achieve. Okay. So the highest rate of weight loss you can achieve is also the most extreme, which means you're not going to be able to keep it up the longest, right? So the more extreme, let's also move down the line here. The more extreme it is, the less long you can do it for. So what's the longest you're going to do it? A month? You're not going to eat or drink anything for a month? Or I don't even know. I'm not a doctor, so don't listen to this. But the point is made, right? That the faster the weight loss, the more extreme thing you're doing. The more extreme thing you're doing, the less long you can do it for. And here we have the blueprint for why you keep failing on the diets, and why it doesn't matter if it's keto, paleo, vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, low fat. None of that shit matters. None of it matters. What's always the same is your approach. And your approach is, today's Sunday, and I've struggled with my weight forever. I struggle getting my eating under control, and I struggle with emotional eating and portion control and all this other stuff. But tomorrow is Monday, and I'm going to be a completely different person from now on. I'm going to be a completely different person, and I'm going to eat completely different starting tomorrow. So again, you pour whatever philosophy you want into that container. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because all the diets work. They've tested this out. They tested literally low carb versus low fat. For the people that followed either one of the diets, they both get the same results basically. Okay. It does not matter what your philosophy is. What your problem is how you're doing it. And that's the mindset piece that you never learn about. And this is why you're stuck in the hamster wheel of diets, and it's either the same fucking diet you've done 100 times with the same results or you keep switching diets each time with the same results that you start out, you do it for a while and then you stop. That's in a nutshell. Hey, I can do it for a little while and then I can't stick to it. Jim, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. It's a ridiculous strategy. The strategy of dieting of you jump in on Monday and you change your eating 100%. You go straight into perfection on Monday. I'm going to eat this way from now on. So that means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here comes the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, I'm eating exactly the same. And you wonder why you can't stick to it. And you wonder what's wrong with you. How about nothing's wrong with you and everything is wrong with that plan and approach? It makes no sense to put it in another context to prove just how fucking goofy it is. It's like saying I want to learn to play the piano. I don't want to play the piano and I really want to get good fast. So I'm going to start playing 8 hours a day. It sounds like a lot. I want to get good, Jim, and I'm going to commit to it. I want it. And this is what I want. I'm doing it. Be my guest, right? So let's just say you magically get through the first day. Okay. You wake up crippled, killing you. You hate the piano now, and you're just dreading the second day. And it's only day 2. Right. And so is this not how you feel about your diet? Doesn't matter what the philosophy is. You hate your diet now. You absolutely dread and hate it. You do not want to do it. And so you avoid it. You subconsciously avoid losing weight because you think to lose weight, you have to do shit that makes you feel terrible. So you avoid it. So there's your core mindset problem. So as soon as you start focusing on getting to my goal weight and staying there for the rest of my life on your autopilot, everything changes. Now, instead of the fastest working, most extreme thing, we start focusing on the most sustainable thing, the most, get ready for this word, the most comfortable thing. What's the most comfortable way that I can start to lose weight? What's the most comfortable way I can eat at my goal weight? What's the easiest and most enjoyable way I can eat so that I can live at my goal weight for the rest of my life on near autopilot? You never ask these questions. You never think any of this. So how would you ever succeed? Because the only thing you know about weight loss is from the diet industry. That's the majority of it. And so if you're going to change your behavior, you're going to change it all tomorrow. You're going to change it all on Monday. Right? No pain, no gain. Let's do this. We serious? We messing around? Are we serious here? And yeah, you're serious for a couple of days. How serious are you on Wednesday and Thursday? How serious are you on Friday when the weekend's coming up? Right? It gets real hard. We magically get past the weekend. Okay. How's it feel after 1 month? How's it feel when vacation's coming up? How's it feel when you go to a social event? How do you feel when it's the holidays? Right? You got no flexibility. There's no room for error. It's goofy. It's goofy. I mean, I help people every day. I mean, master their weight. What's that mean? It means that they figure out how to have the mindset, lifestyle, and eating patterns customized to them, right? So it's got to be customized to you, but of a thin and healthy person. You have to know how to think, live, and eat like a thin and healthy person. That's how you live as a thin, healthy version of yourself for the rest of your life. Now, have you learned in any diet you've ever done, any diet book you've ever read, any diet podcast you've listened to? Have you ever learned how to think, live, and eat like a thin, healthy person? Or have you learned different ways to fight against yourself and force yourself to do shit that sucks, that you don't like doing? What's up, Jen? Jen says, hi, Jim. Eating trances is an interesting topic. Are all trances bad, or is this part of being more automated in habits? No, all trances are not bad. Not at all. We're constantly in trances, folks. We're trance-like creatures. We're constantly in trances. Your conscious awareness, your mindfulness is your prefrontal cortex, and it's a finite resource. So again, I could have you do an hour of math problems and your focus goes down. Okay. So most of our behaviors are happening, they're running in the background. And we learn something, figure something out. Now it just kind of runs in the background automatically. So that can be good or bad. A great, are all trances bad? No, because you want to know like the best trance you've ever installed in yourself is your toothbrushing trance. Hey, how do you explain your toothbrush? Well, that's a habit, Jim. Well, what's a habit? What's a habit? Don't you find it odd that you wake up or you brush your teeth at the same times every day on autopilot? You don't have it on your calendar, right? You're not getting reminders for it. You just remember it. And it's flexible too. That's interesting, isn't it? It's not just a time, it's relative to where things are at. So you get up at 8, you brush your teeth at 8:04. You get up at 10, you brush your teeth at 10:04. So it's part of a routine. So there's flexibility with it. If you wake up at 10 and usually brush your teeth at 8, you don't skip brushing your teeth, right? It's part of a routine that runs on autopilot. You just somehow magically remember to brush your teeth every day and night or whenever you do it, right? So that's a trance. It's a subconscious trance. You do it on autopilot. You don't have to think about it. I mean, you have a little bit of awareness of it, but it's primarily a trance. The way you take a shower, the way you brush your teeth, where you start, where you stop, the way you drive your car, the way you walk. Your life is a series of trances, behaviors you've learned, and now they run in the background on autopilot. So trances absolutely can be good and bad. They're just automated behaviors. They're habits, right? There's good and bad habits. It's the same thing. Okay. But I think the trance concept is really like we're putting a different wrapper around habits, right? So a lot of times people talk about habits, but they don't really have a depth of understanding what habits are, how to influence them, right? So again, very few people know the neuroscience of habits. That's one of the things we go through the program. You really have to have a strategic. And why wouldn't you want this? Your weight is controlled by your habitual behavior. That's what habits is short for. And so you need to have some real strategy for how you're going to manipulate your habits. How are you going to, I don't want to say resolve change. Let's just say change is a vague term. How are you going to change your highest calorie habits? How are you going to change the most harmful habits to your weight and your health? How are you going to change them? Because for most dieters, you're just going to take your willpower and fight against them. That reveals a complete and total lack of understanding of what habits are and how they work. So if there's no understanding of what a habit is, how are you changing it? And what that question reveals is that you don't really have a strategy. You're just using willpower to just fight against it. You're winging it. You're trying to make it better. You're trying to stop it. It's like a kindergarten approach to something that requires more understanding. And once you have a deeper understanding of what habits are and how to change the ones that are unhelpful and how to install and encourage the ones that are helpful, you take way more control of your weight, your health, your happiness, your life. I mean, habits are so important. I mean, if you don't understand habits, like what are you doing? Well, how are you? Maybe you're not serious. I do think, I don't want to get on a rant here, but I've been thinking, I don't know if people are just apathetic. I don't know. I don't know if people have just given up. I don't know what's going on because I will tell you, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm in a little vortex of a lot of people just don't really care, which hey, I'm not judging it. I don't give a shit. I'm at my goal weight. I help people get to their goal weight. That's my world. But I always say you weigh what you want, but I've noticed, I don't know, like, do you care? Do you care about your weight? Has it been so long that you just kind of checked out of the whole thing? I don't know. But if you're remotely serious about your weight, and don't take this the wrong way, but you're probably not. I mean, if you're obviously in the program or you're in some program or you're actively doing something to lose weight, then obviously you are. That's the only litmus test. Are you doing anything actively right now to actually change your weight, your health, your happiness? Okay. If you are, great. You're on this side of the line. Right. But if you're just thinking about it, and again, it's not a judgment because there's lots of things I'm just thinking about and I'm not fixing. So I get it. Okay. But I am saying it's kind of a moment to reflect because if you're not, right, if you're not real, I don't care. I don't care about the weight right now. I don't give a shit about the weight. Fuck it. I don't care. Okay, fine. But don't let yourself off the hook. You stop beating yourself up about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I just want to eat my food. I just want to live my life. I got enough stress. I don't care about my weight right now. Then fine. Then don't care about it and be a happy, healthy person at whatever weight you're at. All right. But what I see is people in this perpetual negative, beating themselves up state, but they never do anything to fix it. And I don't know. I don't get that. I really don't. And maybe I'm just built differently in that way. And it's the reason why in my program, and I make this crystal clear, my program is not for everyone. It is for people that are action takers. I get overthinkers, perfectionists. These are the people that get into the program. That's who it's for. But hey, hold on. Because I know there's a lot of you here. And I don't get it because I see the numbers every day. I give more free stuff away than anyone. And I also see the small percentage of people that actually go and get it. And it just makes me wonder. I mean, and again, maybe just don't give a shit. Maybe you don't care about your weight. Maybe you don't care about your health, your happiness. I guess that's where we're at to some degree. Oh, but anyways. What's up, Sarah? I've been trying to reach you about your program. Please email me. I love your videos and the content. I literally just have questions before signing up. Yeah, I'll email you. Let me double check. My email. Yeah, I'm good and bad. Sometimes you catch me on I don't know if you email me this weekend. Sometimes things kind of fall through the cracks a little bit. But anyways, yes, no, I'm here, Sarah, and I will answer that for you. I get that going now because I'll never see this later. Or Sarah, you know what, Sarah, just send me the questions again. I don't know. I probably missed them, but just shoot me the questions one more time. I'll get them. I'll keep I'll look out for it. What's up, Heather? Heather says, I so need some straight talking Jim. We can be such unreasonable twats. It's a lifelong aim. Yeah, absolutely. That's a lifelong aim. Yeah. It's a forever process, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, brushing your teeth is a forever process too. You're fine with that, right? So, forever processes aren't a bad thing. They're a good thing. And don't you want to be at your goal weight for the rest of your life? Wouldn't you like to be the healthiest, happiest person you could be for the rest of your life? Or would you just like that for the next 6 months? And then that was enough. That's enough. That's enough success. That's enough happiness. And I'm tired of being my goal weight now. I don't know, maybe. Jen says, I think that people are preoccupied with the shit show of a world we're in right now. I do agree with that. It is surreal times. So I do completely understand that. And I think that's what happens. I think, I don't know, we're bombarded with bullshit so much that I think it drives us right to our, drives us right towards our phones and our distractions. Sarah says, one question is, should I wait to sign up until my vacation? I don't know when you're going on vacation. I mean, I wouldn't wait till after your vacation because programming yourself thin is not a diet. I remember one time someone asked me, one of my favorite, I remember this, it was a Thursday night and it was before a long weekend. And the person's like, I want to sign up. They're like, but I might have to start this strict meal plan tomorrow. And I was like, what strict meal plan? What are you talking about? And they're like, do I have to start a strict meal plan tomorrow? Cause I got a company coming over for the weekend. I was like, there's no strict meal plan. You start off by listening to a hypnosis session in the morning, a 5-minute hypnosis session. And then you start working your way through the blueprints, which new blueprints coming this weekend. So exciting. They're good. I know they're good. And I'm excited for that. So those will be out to the clients this weekend. But to me, it's like, why would you want to, I don't understand the idea of waiting, again, and I do get it. I get it. Cause diet mind starts, right? It's always about a streak. Subconsciously dieting is an endurance test. That's how your subconscious mind perceives dieting. It thinks of it as, okay, let's see how long I can do it this time. Right. And that's why you always kind of start on a Monday and it's like, okay, can I get through the weekend? Oh my God. Okay. Get through another weekend. Probably not, but whatever, maybe. So to me, it's not about like the streak. So me personally, like in some ways, psychologically, it's almost better to just get it. It's almost just like better to get it now and start putting it in your head. Cause then you got some of that shit and you might listen to some of the hypnosis sessions. You might do some of the stuff on vacation. You may not too, right? It doesn't matter, but it's like me personally, I'd want to get this stuff in my head as quick as possible. That's what I would want to do, but anyways, but shoot me a message, Sarah. Cause let me know like when you're going on vacation and, I'll let you know. And I'm running a special, I got a special coaching offer I'm running. So if you're on my email list, you'll get that. Oh my goodness. Been dieting for over 25 years. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, I need to shift the mindset. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I see yoga there and the thing. So yeah, I'm a yoga instructor too. So there's yoga is kind of weaved. I like meditation, yoga, obviously hypnosis. There's a lot of stuff weaved through the program, but I think I love working with yoga instructors and yoga. What's the word? I don't say aficionado. Not aficionado. Why would I think that word? Is yoga aficionado a phrase? Yoga. I get stuck on words sometimes. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I love working with people that like yoga. Okay. Do yoga because there's a lot of that built into the program, I think. And again, in the program, it was one of the things I was just thinking is I was working out. I've been working out lately, starting to do some resistance training. I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing body weight squats, right? And so some people might say, oh, who cares? Those are nothing. For me, it's enormous, big deal. Yeah, yogis, right. Yogis. So, yeah, so I was doing them, right? And I've been doing that now. I don't know, maybe it's 3-4 months. I had shoulder surgery. It doesn't matter. So I'm doing it, but I was like, obviously, like when you work out, it's so because I do the same shit. Like, I want to be clear, by the way, I'm always talking about the diet mind and the problems with it. But you're going to have a diet mindset forever. Okay, I just want to make that crystal clear. There's no getting rid of the diet mindset. You can't get rid of the diet mindset. Just like I was joking I was talking this yesterday. It's like, let's just say you don't want to speak English anymore. Well, great. You don't have to speak it anymore, but you're never going to stop yourself from thinking and understanding English. Never in your life are you not going to understand English at this point. And never in your life are you not going to think like a dieter. So your success does not come because you stop thinking like a dieter. Your success comes because you learn how to think like a thin, healthy person more. And you focus on that and you develop it and you become that. And you'll always have the ability and you will always spontaneously think like a dieter. So you can't think like, oh my God, it was working so good. And now, no, that's going to happen forever. I still think like a dieter sometimes. Okay. But again, my primary way of thinking that I focus on, develop, encourage, cultivate is thinking like a thin, healthy person. So that makes sense. And sorry, TikTok, I'm missing your stuff, but and he says, I'm trying to understand my brain and needs. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. The more you start thinking about that, it's better. Yeah. And figure it out. Again, I suggest get the program though. That program's going up. I know I've said it, but I'm promising you right now is literally, that's it. I'm promising you this. I know I've been saying it for a little while, so I understand if you don't believe me, but I redid the blueprints and that's taken me a couple months and I think they're really good now. And that's always been the plan, that the blueprints get upgraded and then the price of the program goes up. Cause now like I'm changing my whole business model around. So again, the program's gonna be $500. You can still get it for $300 because I've still been trying to do this first before I raise the price up. So again, it's still in there, but again, trying to figure this stuff out on your own is trying to figure the piano out on your own. Is it possible? I guess someone did it, but it's probably not going to be you. I mean, there's over 30 years of experience, you know what I mean, in this program that's put in there. So I just mentioned that to you. And there's a little special on the coaching, for a little bit, put a couple people in there. Smeezy says been dieting since February, 30 pounds down today. And so, again, I want to make crystal clear the point I'm making here. And to Smeezy especially, and great job, by the way, congrats. I always applaud action. Okay. It's really important. And so great job. Okay. But what I'm talking about is keeping the weight off, Smeezy. So again, I'm always happy for people, whatever weight loss they achieve. 30 pounds in 2 months, amazing. Okay. So since February, we had February, we had April. No, we had February, we had March, we had April and May, right? So 30 pounds in 4 months is that's a lot of weight. Great job. 7.5 pounds a month. Super job. Okay. But the thing is, to lose that much weight, you must have done something pretty extreme. Right? That's a pretty considerable rate of weight loss speed. I don't know if you all think that. It's at the high end of things. So I know Smeezy did something relatively extreme to do that. Probably intermittent fasted, counted calories, low carbonate, whatever. So again, congratulations, great job. However, are you set up for the long term? Well, we don't know. And you may think you are, and I may think you're not, but neither of us know. We won't know until it's a year and a half from now. So a year and a half from now, 2 years from now I want to hear everything Smeezy has to say. I want to dig into Smeezy's mind. I want to figure out what Smeezy did to lose the weight, what they thought, how they changed things up, what motivated them. I want to just like dive into their brain and figure out how they did it. But until you get to 2 years, great job, but I'm not learning much from you yet. So Program Yourself Thin is built on my story. I started over 30 years ago, dropped 50 pounds. And the way I did it was what made it unique is that I did not diet. What I did is I found people that lost weight and kept it off for at least 2 years. A lot of these people are at the Y, and I would talk to them. And what I instantly found out is that dieters and people that lost weight long-term think about all this stuff completely differently. And that was the blessing that fell in my lap, is to be able to understand that. Because what I did is I became obsessed with people that lost weight and kept it off for at least 2 years. And that was the secret, because it's a completely different path. So again, I'm real happy for you, Smeezy. Great job taking action. But I'm personally like I wouldn't, I want to know in 2 years, please come back here again. Let me know. And now I want to hear all about it. So, but good job. Jerry says, I just dropped off a couple of brown trout this morning. I lost about 15 pounds. That's a good one. The old poop jokes, but they're welcome here. Atomic Habits. Yep. Atomic Habits was good. I like Atomic Habits, but I will tell you, I like James Clear. I like Atomic Habits. It's great. But I would say that there's a lot more to habits than that. Just so we know, it's my opinion, who am I, right? What do I know? I didn't write a book called Atomic Habits, right? Everyone loves it. I think it's great, by the way. I teach out of it. I think it's super. But I think there's a huge piece of that puzzle missing. And I think it's the mental programming of how to take that habit and install it. And I love the strategies in that book. I love them. What I think that I like to add to it is the mental programming piece, right? What's up, Harley? Harley says, I've followed you for probably a year now, and you've made a huge impact on my life. Well, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Help people out, right? This is a mission for me. So again, I'm happy to be able to help you all out. So yeah, back here. Let's see. Sarah says, hate to ask, but do you really guarantee your program? Guarantee weight loss? Tell me more about your guarantee. Sorry to focus on that. I've just spent so much money on weight loss already. Nothing has helped. Yeah, I mean, at the moment I do guarantee the $300 program. So I do guarantee that. But what I would suggest to you, Sarah, and again, shoot me an email. I'll shoot you the info for this, but knowing your story, knowing 25 years, all the rest of it, that's going to sound like a pitch probably, but I'm being honest. I think that what you should do, again, and I don't know what your financial situation is, so I understand financial sensitivities. Got that. You're not going to believe what I'm going to say. I'm going to say you should get the program that doesn't have a guarantee. So get the $300 program and do it. It's amazing. But again, if you can work with me personally for 8 weeks, that is by far the greatest value I can offer any of you. And again, this will literally be the last chance you ever get to work with me at this price. So that has no guarantee though, because I don't, again, there is no guarantee in life. So again, I do the guarantee on the program because whatever, it puts people's mind at ease. But yeah, there's no guaranteed weight loss. I mean, I always joke about this because I don't do as much anymore, but I used to do a lot of private coaching, and it's a lot to work with me. It's 25 grand now, but even when it was like 5 grand, that's still a lot of money. And so, people say, oh, do you guarantee it? I was like, guarantee it? You guarantee you? I mean, to be honest, in this relationship, I'm not the one that needs to guarantee anything. I've got hundreds of testimonials of people I've helped to live at their goal weight forever. Right. And I'm at my goal weight for over 30 years. I'm not the one that needs to guarantee my side of the things. You know what I mean? Like you got to guarantee your side of the things. You're going to stick with it and do it. So that's why I don't, there's no guarantee with coaching because you have to show up and you're doing it or you're not doing it. Okay. But the program, again, it's not my time. So whatever, but it's, yeah, it's the wrong attitude. I will tell you that, but that's okay. Cause I understand what you're thinking of because you're thinking about this as just another diet to some degree. But this is where I get to explain that Program Yourself Thin is a system. And I think of it metaphorically. I compare it to like being a mechanic or a plumber or an accountant. Okay. Let's just say you have no aptitude for mechanical things, numbers, whatever. Doesn't matter. If you go to school to be an accountant, if you go to school, like you sign up, you go, here's my money. I'm going to commit. I'm going to do the mechanic program. I'm going to become a plumber. I'm going to become an accountant. I'm going to come to the classes. I'm going to do the homework. I'm going to practice. Even without any mechanical, mathematical aptitude, you're still going to end up on the other side, an accountant, a mechanic, a plumber, right? This is how you need to think about this. And that's what Program Yourself Thin is. Program Yourself Thin is really three components, right? It's the, I'm kind of renaming this, I'm thinking about, but it's a mental rehearsal technique. It's a hypnotic technique you use. It takes 60 seconds. That programs your mind to be the person you want to be. So it installs new wiring, and gives you the mindset of the person you want to be. The next piece is the goal weight blueprints. And this is mindset, lifestyle, and eating blueprints written out for you. And you go through and you fill this out because you have to customize the plan to you. You got to figure out how do you motivate yourself? Right. So again, in the mindset piece, so the mindset blueprint, we go through motivation, self-image, habits, emotions, thinking, and maintenance. And you go through and answer the questions that answer all those for you so that you know how to motivate yourself. You're all not motivated right now. You think you want to lose weight and you don't. Yeah. Don't believe me? Let's get into it. Right. So motivation is the first thing. You have to know how to motivate yourself. So I ask you all the key questions that get you a way deeper level of motivation. Well, because you want to wear a fucking bathing suit to the beach? Is that your motivation? That's why you're going to completely change your life and your eating and everything in your life so you can wear a bathing suit to the beach once? Nope. You want to know why it hasn't motivated you? Because it's not motivating to you. It'd be cool. So you need way deeper motivation. So that's the first thing we do. Next thing, self-image. You're always living up or down your identity. If you're struggling with your weight, here you go, Sarah. You're a 25-year dieter. You're a 25-year certified weight struggler. That's your identity. And there's things underneath that too, right? So we figure out what's the identity you want. The next thing is the habits. We strategically look at your habits so you understand them. How do habits work neuroscientifically? How do you approach your habits strategically so you can change them? You can't get rid of bad habits, by the way, because you can't get rid of neural wiring. So you have to have a strategic plan of how you're going to deal with habits. We'll go through that. Emotions. You better realize you got to deal with your emotions if you're going to deal with your weight, right? What do you think's causing you to make the poor food choices you make? What's the primary culprit? It's your emotions. So there's probably a good chance you've never learned how to create the emotions you want and feel them and how to deal with the shitty emotions you don't want to feel. So we figure that out. Then we go into how to think, literally, what questions to ask, what words to say, right? What to say to yourself, so that you think like a thin, healthy person. And then the maintenance, how are you going to keep this going? The maintenance thing is so funny with dieters because, once I get to my goal weight, I'll learn how to maintain it. Well, no one does that, right? Again, dieting has a 2 to 5% success rate. So that's really bad for people that learn how to maintain. And B is when you get to your goal weight, you're going to learn how to maintain the nerve to just assume I'm going to get there. Why do you think you're going to get to tomorrow on your plan? What the hell makes you so confident that you're going to get to next week on your diet plan? Right? You need to learn how to maintain. In Program Yourself Thin, we start with the maintenance because that's the most important piece. What is the point of doing something that you can do for 3 weeks to lose weight, 3 months to lose weight, if you can't keep it up? So again, that's just the mindset blueprint. But then once you fill those questions out and they're easy to fill out and they give you suggestions, it's so nice now. I'm so excited for y'all to see the blueprints. I can't wait. So guide you through this. Before you used to have to watch the trainings and then answer the questions. And it was a little, I get it. It was quite a commitment. Now this blueprint's set up so you can just go through it. Now there are trainings that if you want to go deeper into these topics, you can go deeper into them with the trainings, but you can just go through the blueprint just on its own. And now once you fill it out, you've got it. So guess what? It's 3 weeks and you're feeling not that motivated. Well, what do you usually do when you don't feel motivated? You just stop doing everything. You have no idea how to influence your motivation. So now all of a sudden you go, hey, well, I'm feeling kind of down. I don't know. My motivation's a little off today. Back to the motivation blueprint. Oh, right. Let me tweak that. Oh, that's, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got something. And so it either you have to remind yourself and reinforce it. Now you're motivated, or you need to tweak it now. The motivation that worked 3 weeks ago, now we need to tweak it a little. Can you imagine? Right. So anyways, that's just the mindset blueprint. This is a lifestyle blueprint, which if you're a yogi, you probably have a lot of that already in place. But we go through it anyways. Simple, there's 10 lifestyle habits we go through, and we make them real simple. Again, this isn't a program you do all at once. It's a program you chip away at. Again, if you're going to go to accounting or plumber school or mechanic school, you don't start learning everything at once. They break things down and you learn things strategically and you keep going at it. And so if you go through the process, it's not rocket science. You've just never had weight. You've never had your goal weight laid out in a strategic plan. The only thing you're ever given with weight loss plans, all of them, is you're told what to do. You're told what to do, and then you're supposed to just force yourself to do it. That's every diet plan. But the real thing you've never learned is, how do I get myself to do it? How do I think like a thin, healthy person? And that's what you never learn. And that's what this program is built around, And so we go through the blueprints, and then the eating blueprint is obviously the core of it all. But again, it's so strategic. It's so beautiful. And I've been working on the eating blueprint for probably the last 3 weeks. So that's the thing that's taken me the longest, because again, when I work with someone, I can kind of find where they're at and help them with it. But to be able to explain it in a general term, it took me a bit, but it helped me clarify a lot. So again, it's just a real strategic approach to changing your eating. And when I say strategically, meaning you don't just change all your eating at once and program yourself then. That shit is so stupid. The idea that you're going to completely change your eating 100% tomorrow is so silly. The chance of that lasting is almost zero. So what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is that we strategically begin to shift our eating. We start with where we're at and we strategically start to change it in the easiest way possible, looking to implement new habits and behaviors that support us, and then keep tweaking and optimizing them until we get our calorie consumption to our goal weight in the most comfortable and enjoyable way possible. And then you live your life there. So anyways, and then there's the goal weight hypnosis system. This is an 8-week hypnosis system where every morning you get a 5-minute hypnosis session. It's a different one. So every morning it's a different mantra. They're always built around weight loss mantras. And so each morning you get a 5-minute hypnosis mantra in your morning hypnosis sessions. Hold on. And then at night you get, you listen to a 10-minute one. And that one is, has a core weight loss mantra in it. You get 8 of those over the program. You listen to those every night, the same one, to really reinforce it. And each morning one's a different one for 8 weeks. So you end up getting 57 different mini morning sessions, all with a different message, but all kind of similar, right? All reinforcing it, but they're different, so you don't get bored with it. And so you bookend your day with this relaxation, this calm, and this positive messaging going into your mind. And the whole system works together. It's beautiful. And then the bonuses with it, it's amazing. And then it's delivered right through an app now. So it's like we got the Circle app, and you get to use that as well to access the program. You can connect with other people in the program. It's real cool. That's actually something that in the near future now, as I'm kind of finishing this part up, one of the next projects moving forward is opening up the Circle app for everyone. So you will be able to have a little hub, program yourself then hub, even if you're not in the program. Okay. But if you're in the program, that's currently going on. And then finally you get Gym AI, access to Gym AI, which is literally my AI clone. And you get 24/7 access to this, and it'll help you with whatever questions you have. And it'll help you go through the blueprints if you get stuck with anything, on top of it. And then there is a couple spaces left to coach me too in my group coaching thing. And again, I can't recommend enough. You know what I mean? Like this is literally becoming a once in a lifetime thing, because the second I start advertising, there will be no spaces left. So anyways, Just Jay says it's the worst. It's the weight loss shots. I think that's a big reason for the shift. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe the most motivated people actually are getting the drugs. That could partly be it too. Paula, what's up, Paula? Paula says, I have good news. 1.5 days, 4 coffees with no sugar in my coffee. Thrilled. That's awesome. Paula's a superstar. And it's like, again, this is what I love so much is that, program yourself thin. You don't have to be perfect. It's not about being perfect. Perfect is the kiss of death. And so it's about being strategically consistent. And if you're strategically consistent with your weight and you have a system that you're following, it's almost impossible not to succeed. I really mean that. It's a completely different. The dieting, it's just you're winging it. You're trying to do it perfectly. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna die. You run out of steam. That's how it always ends. Every single weight loss attempt you've done is exactly the same. It's you going 100 miles an hour until you run out of steam and stop. Always the same. So, yeah. Cheetah says, my sadness makes me eat crap. What should I do? Yeah, sadness, emotional eating in general, right? So again, regardless of what the specific emotion is, the pattern's the same, that you feel the emotion and then you go and eat to deal with it or distract yourself from it. So what should I do? What you should do is that you should deal with the sadness, right? We don't want to just stop eating when you're sad, because then you're just a sad, skinny person. That's not what you want. You want to be a thin, healthy, happy person. So the way you do that is like, again, you aim right at the sadness, right? What's making you sad? Acknowledge it, accept it, embrace it, oddly, and then start asking yourself, how do I want to feel? You probably want to feel happier. Okay, what can I do to make myself feel happier? Right? So it says, exactly. Tell me about your group coaching. Is that different to your program? It's in addition to the program. So the group coaching, again, I mean, I can't even stress this enough, and I don't want to overstate this because there's really only a couple spots, but the group coaching, we meet twice a week. So every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we meet on Zoom. And I keep the group small enough that I literally work one-on-one with you. And I'm not saying it's exact amount of time, but I mean, like, the first time you're there, I'll easily spend a half hour with you, get to know you, understand you. And every time I'm there, you're going to get at least 15, 20 minutes probably, of time with me. So I really get to know what you're doing, and I help guide you right through the program. It's the most value I can offer you. That's by far my greatest skill, is coaching, but again, coaching to work with me privately is 25 grand. So the group I love because it's an affordable way that people can work with me, but it's really like, I really get to know you in over 8 weeks. Yeah, like we're going to go through all the things in the program and anything that's not in the program. I'm going to see what's going on with you. So if you're interested in that, you can shoot me a message if anyone's interested in that one. Because right now that's only $997. That's gonna be $2,000. And again, I'm putting a few people in that at that price, and then it's going up to $2,000. And then once I start advertising, that's not gonna be available. That thing's just gonna keep going up in price. It's not. Listen, I love coaching, and I'd love to coach every single person. It just becomes a numbers game. You know what I mean? I can only coach so many people in that group effectively, and the only way to kind of limit it is with the pricing, And so again, you're really getting this price now just because it's right before I'm going to start advertising. So again, Program Yourself then is getting kind of a whole, like I said, the blueprints are coming out this weekend. The new trainings for the blueprints start next Tuesday. So you start getting those every week. Yeah. But anyways, group coaching is the best value of all. There's no question about it. And, yeah, that's another thing I got to do is I get a bunch of videos with people that are in the group coaching so you can hear from them too, because it's crazy. But yeah, so if you're interested, shoot me an email. If you're interested in the group coaching, shoot me an email at jim@programyourselfthin.com. And if you go away for vacation, obviously that time's just added so you don't lose that time. So Paula, that's why I got distracted. Paula Fitz, great job, Paula. You're a superstar. 1.5 days with no sugar. That's a big deal, folks. This is a big deal. Big times for Paula, and she deserves them. And that's the fun part. Yeah, you just keep building on your successes here. If you keep building on your successes, it's kind of hard not to succeed. That's a great job, Paula. Keep it up. Proud of you. Jen says, don't wait. You don't even have to change your reading at first. Just listen to your hypnosis. You'll be so glad you did. Yeah, Jen's in the program. A lot of people in the program get on these podcasts, but again, it's completely different than a dieting. It's the most comfortable, relaxing. Listen, one of the core reasons you struggle with your eating and your weight, folks, is because you're stressed. You're in a chronic state of stress. So, one of the things we got to deal with is getting your relaxation and calm higher, I guess, and your stress level lower. And that's a huge piece of the puzzle. So that's a huge piece of the program. But anyways, yeah, sorry. I've been kind of neglecting TikTok a little bit here. So this is live. I know anytime I neglect TikTok, he was like, hey, is this even live? Is it even real? So, see, I need to get out of here anyways. I gotta pick up my car. Get my car fixed. Everything in my life's breaking and I'm getting it all fixed. I need my lawnmower, my car. Anyways. Amifa said, I ate too much the last 2 weeks. What do I do now? Just go back to eating your normal amount. No big deal. Learn what happened, understand it, analyze it, again, let it go, learn from it, and then just move forward. Go right back to what you were eating 4 weeks ago. Again, being able to get back on track is the most important skill of weight mastery. It's the most important thing because you're always going to get off track. For the rest of your life, there's going to be times you get off track. You eat the wrong thing, you eat too much, whatever. You got to learn to get back on track. No big deal. Okay. Those 2 weeks aren't going to mean anything next year at this time if you get right back on track. All right. Eva says, how's your lawnmower? I don't know. I'm hoping my lawnmower is getting fixed. I dropped it off at a place the first week of April. And last week I was like, what's going on? I'm like, my grass is literally like up to here. And they're like, well, we're getting to it. So I finally picked it up. I said, forget it. So we'll see though, but I don't know. I can't wait. I can't wait to mow my lawn. I love mowing the lawn. I really do. I love mowing my lawn. It's giving me anxiety. I will tell you. I'm dealing with it. But I don't like it. It's like, get someone else to do it. I'm like, I don't want to touch my lawn. I'm protected on my lawn. He says, at least you don't have to fix your weight. Yeah, true. Right. Absolutely. I always say that, like that's important to understand that, when you're getting to your goal weight, right? It's always sold as like this fairy tale. Like once you get to your goal weight, like everything's perfect, everything's fixed. But that's not really true. What happens is a thing called hedonic adaptation. You get to your goal weight and it's really amazing and cool for a little while, right? But then you normalize to it. It's like if you ever got a new car or a new house, it's like, you're all excited about and talk about, that's all you talk about for a while. And then eventually it just becomes your car where you live. You know what I mean? It just becomes, you normalize to it. The same thing happens with your weight, right? So that's why I say in Program Yourself Thin, we always take weight loss and wrap it in personal development. Really, the real focus of Program Yourself Thin is it is the weight for sure, but we make the weight loss secondary. That's a strategy, but we make it about becoming the best version of you possible. That's really the main focus, is how can you be the best version of you possible? And part of that definition is you weighing what you want to weigh. You see, but we're framing it differently. We're not making everything all about the weight itself. We're making it about being the best version of you possible who weighs this much. And that distinction is very important, because what happens is once you get to your goal weight and Program Yourself Thin, you just keep improving. You keep optimizing what you're doing, make it easier, more enjoyable. You keep kind of reaching new levels. You keep becoming healthier, happier, not thinner. I mean, you hit your goal weight and that's that, but you keep working the system to make it easier, work for you, optimizing it. So it never stops. And I find that to be really exciting. I mean, every year, it's funny. I just got my they're different names, but there's like a farm share. I've ever heard of farm shares or CSAs, where you go and give the farm a bunch of money in the beginning of the year, and then you get vegetables and stuff all season long. And I did that last year. Was the first year I did it with this local one, and it was amazing. But that's an example of what I mean. Like it's exciting for me because I've been at my goal weight for 30 years. I won Blip 12 years ago, but I'm at the same weight, and so that gets kind of boring. I mean, it's great to have it, and I'm happy that I've got it. But there's always this focus in me to make things better. How can I get healthier? How can I make my eating cleaner? How can I be more relaxed, more energized, stronger, more flexible, more mentally balanced, more energized, right? I'm always looking to improve this stuff. And it makes it exciting to me because there's always something to look forward to. And I think that's a very important piece of the puzzle, because when it comes to dieting, the whole entire process is about getting to your goal weight, losing weight. But then what? What are you looking forward to then? I know people say, I don't know. If you look forward, I don't give a shit. I'll just be so happy in my goal weight. Nothing will matter. Well, that's not true. Again, folks, listen, 95% of dieters that lose weight put it back on. So it's not true that just getting your goal weight makes everything magically perfect. It doesn't. And I don't mean to burst your bubble if that's what you thought, but it's just not true. And my job is to be honest with you, because I care more about you living at your goal weight than pretty much anyone on the planet. So anyways, all right, I gotta get out of here. But if you're not in my world, make sure you click the link in my bio, go to programyourselfthin.com, and make sure that you get in my world. I give you a bunch of free stuff, and I've got a lot more free things coming down the pike. And so go get on that list. It costs you nothing but about 2 minutes of your time. And then what else? I do this every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. So whatever questions you have, feel free to pop on here and ask them. I'm happy to answer them and help you out. And this is also a podcast. So if you missed the live and you want to listen to it, go to whatever podcast platform, type in Program Yourself Thin, and it'll pop up. Jamelin says, exactly true. Yes, I lost 145 pounds. Took a while to figure out what's next. It was weird. Yeah, exactly, Jamelin. That's exactly it. And I don't think enough people don't focus on that. And if they do, they just ignore it. Like it's no big deal. It's a huge deal. Like, again, that's why I say the goal isn't to lose weight. It's to live at your goal weight. All right. Remember that. All right. Everyone, have a super day and we'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.